Hello crafty friends, welcome to another card making video. Today I thought I would play with my indigo blue eco vivid inks. I've got three colours, primary red, primary yellow and primary blue, and I just used the droppers that came in the bottles to add some drops of colour to the wells on this palette. Now I didn't do it in a particularly systematic way. I started off thinking I was going to do my mixing in one way, but then halfway through for some reason changed my mind, but that's really neither here nor there. I just ended up with a palette full of different colours, all mixed from the three colours that I started with. I then decided that I would swatch out my colour mixes on a piece of watercolour paper. It's a really good idea to do this because it's quite hard to see exactly what colours you've got when they're in the wells of a palette. Once I'd swatched them out, I thought two of the greens that I'd made were very similar, so I added some more of the blue to one of them, and that made it more of a bluey green. After that, I thought I may as well use the remaining empty wells in my palette. And I tried to create some more muted tones. So instead of just mixing two colours in each well, as I'd done with all the others, I mixed all three in different proportions. Now, when you mix yellow, red and blue, you can get mud, but it's worth experimenting with adding, say, three primary colours together in different ratios, because if you get it right, you can get some lovely muted tones. So these three bottom colours are much more muted. I started with bright primary colours, the three at the top, and down at the bottom I've got some lovely toned down colours, a blue, a green and a purple. So it's definitely worth mixing your colours, playing about with ratios and seeing what different hues, muted, brights, what have you, that you can get from them. Right, let's get on with some card making. So for my first card, I have got a stitched rectangle panel of linen textured white card, and I've used my smusher to add that muted purple, the one in the bottom right of the palette, to opposite corners. I then dried that with my hairdryer and added some of the brighter, more vibrant purple over the top, trying not to cover up the first layer of purple too much. I then spattered on the remaining purple using a brush and gave that all a really good dry with my hairdryer, and I'm really pleased with the way that turned out. We've got some nice subtle energy, vibrancy, movement, colour. Next, I took that bright purple again and brushed some onto my glass mat. I then used a rubber stamp to pick it up and stamp it over my two purple areas. The pattern didn't transfer particularly well, but it did give a nice bit of extra texture, a bit of contrast as well, because the stamped image is a bit darker than the smushing. Again, I gave that all a really good dry with my hairdryer, and then I popped it in my stamp platform, treated it with anti-static powder to remove any static, moisture or oily fingerprints. And after that, I inked up a lovely outline floral stamp with embossing ink and stamped it down onto the card. I did that twice just to make sure I got good coverage. I then sprinkled on some gold embossing powder. I did use a superfine embossing powder because the lines on the stamp are very thin. I heated that with my heat tool to melt the embossing powder. And once that cooled and set, I stamped on another outline flower stamp over the other corner of the card and heat embossed that in gold. And I also stamped and heat embossed a sentiment which I placed between the two stamped smushed areas because I thought it would stand out well there. I did want to bring out the flowers a little bit, so I decided to paint them using my inks. I wanted a slightly different purple colour for my flowers, something a little bit closer to magenta. So I put the primary red on my mat and then mixed in one of the purples that I'd mixed to give me the colour that I was after. I did have the stamp set right next to me there so that I could see clearly which part of the image was flower and which was leaf. Because there was all that smushing going on behind the gold stamped image, it was a bit difficult to see which areas were which. I did want a bit of variation in the colour, so after I dried the first layer of painting, I went in on some areas with some more ink, and I did that to both stamped images. And to use up the last little bit of ink on my mat, I spattered on some more spatters, because you can never have too many really. So that was the panel finished. I did put it on a card blank, but felt that it needed something else. It needed a bit of a border, and I thought I could use some gold cardstock, but I wanted to use the same colour gold as I'd used for the stamping. So I just heat embossed on a piece of linen textured white card just around the edge, using that same gold embossing powder. And not only did it match the colour, but it matched the linen texture as well. Even though it's heat embossed, you can still see that it's linen textured underneath. I used high-tack glue to stick my panel down onto the gold, and then I popped that on a card front. Very happy with the way that turned out. I'll show you some more pics at the end of the video, but for now we're going to move on to card number 2. So I took another piece of linen textured white card. And as this was a couple of days later, my inks had completely dried out. But the beauty of these inks is that you can just add some water to the dried out pigment and rehydrate them. So I just added a pipette full of water to each one, mixed them with a paintbrush, and then spread a couple of warm colours on my mat. I then used a background texture stamp to pick up some colours and stamp it on. I didn't think this would give me a particularly defined image. I just wanted to get some nice texture down. So I did that a couple of times, and I also spattered some of the leftover ink as well using a paintbrush. I gave it a good dry with my hairdryer and then put the panel and the stamp in my stamp positioner. Inked up the stamp with some embossing ink again and stamped it down onto my panel. So I used the stamp to create that background texture with the colourful inks and to add a more defined, clear image on the front in embossing ink. The embossing powder I used on this card was a nice superfine copper. I thought that would go well with the warm colours of the ink that I'd used. The image was a bit square though, so I took a paintbrush and gently knocked off some of the powder to create a more raggedy, natural looking edge, not square or blocky. Once I was happy with that, I heated it with my heat tool and then let it cool and set. Again, I used some inks to colour in some of the elements. I think I just coloured the flowers on this one using warm colours again. I wanted to give this panel a metallic border like the first card, but instead of mounting it on a piece of gold cardstock, I dipped the edges of my panel into some embossing ink, and then I sprinkled over that same copper embossing powder and heated it with my heat tool, and that gave me a small, delicate gilded edge, which I really liked. Once I'd put my panel on the card front, I felt it needed a bit more of a focal point. So I die cut 2 twiddly foliage pieces using, I think it was a Creative Expressions die, and I coloured one of them with the same colours that I'd used to colour the background of this second card. I dried it and then gave it another coat, and it came out really very bright. I thought I'd tone that down a bit by adding some rose gold luster wax, but that didn't really work. So instead of making the bright one the focal point, I thought I'd make the white one the focal point and use the bright one as a bit of a drop shadow, and I think that worked. I did also add some gilding wax to the white one as well, just to tie it in. Once I was happy with my focal point foliage, I sliced it in two because I wanted it to be a bit taller than it was. And I knew I could stretch it out, as it were, by separating it into two pieces and then covering the gap between the pieces using the sentiment. Now for the sentiment, I stamped "You're Utterly Delightful" on a piece of linen textured white card, and I heat embossed that in the copper, and I went around the edge of it with the copper as well. And then I was able to place that, as I say, over the gap in the foliage. As a finishing touch on this card, I added some copper penny nouveau drops, just gave it a little bit of extra dimension, a bit of shine, a bit of shimmer, and a bit more copper. And that's these two cards finished. I hope you like them, and I hope today's video has given you a bit of encouragement to mix up some colours of your own. What's the worst that can happen? You get something you don't like. If you mix it up in small enough quantities, then you won't waste much. If you haven't got inks like this, you could always try using re-inkers. If you do, let me know how you get on. Right, thanks for watching, and I'll see you back here very soon for another video. Bye for now.